guys, welcome back to my channel. So, you guys are probably very confused by the title, and you're probably thinking to yourself, isn't this obvious that influencers influence people? Well, I would think so, but I think people do forget the influence that influencers do have on other people. Now, what inspired me to make this video was actually a comment that I got in my last video. My last video was about like clavicular and all that kind of stuff. And the comment basically stated how he never encourages people to do the actions that he does. Fair, but I thought about it, and the more I was doing some thinking, I was like, people are not really holding influencers accountable for things that they do and the actual impact and influence that they can have on, say, like a kid or a teen's life, or even an adult's life, if I'm being fully honest. So I thought I would talk more about that because I definitely thought this was something that people are definitely overlooking and kind of forget. So I am going to talk all about collab first and just go through everything. So I am not going to go through all of the scandals that he went through and all those kind of things. I might pop some clips in from my video last week about me talking about them that he said before. Is he said how he wanted to get somebody pregnant and then have her drink while pregnant so that when the kid would come, the kid would be disabled and he would be able to use the disability for clout.
Dude, I'm thinking about having like a kid and making the girl I have the kid with drink a bunch of alcohol while she's pregnant.
Yo!
So that I can farm the disabled kid for content. What do you think about that? Is that a W or
There's
L?
no fucking.
Another thing too is he has said the N-word multiple times on stream. He doesn't care really. He has said it in front of black people, he's said it in front of white people, and when he gets like called out, because people have called him out, people have said stuff to him about it, and he brushes it off. He doesn't care, and he's, like I said, he said it multiple times. He says it without stuttering. Like, I will show you multiple clips. He just says it, and it like doesn't faze him.
The N-word?
Nigga. Like, not many of these niggas are balling out at 20 years old to buy this shit.
You know what I mean? Like, that word doesn't, he just says it. It's like a natural thing for him to say. But basically, he just said things that were, he said slurs, things like that. He's, just spoken poorly about women in general. Now, this, like, whole idea that he necessarily doesn't tell people to do the actions that he does, to say what he says, is very true. Like I already said, he doesn't go around telling people, oh, go, talk to women like this. Go say this word. I mean, he doesn't really say that. But at the same time, he doesn't tell people not to do it either. There was one instance that he did say that, and I will give him credit for that. One time he was doing like this live stream thing, and he basically told kids not to do drugs. I'll show you the clip of that.
Maybe not that much. So, yeah, no, that you can't fuck around with these drugs.
Yeah.
And I've always told people, I mean, I'm just honest about like what I did and what I've done, but I never advise people to do drugs. I'm always like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, it fucks shit up bad, But,
You mess with kratom?
no.
Like small doses?
No. Never. Never fucked with that. Never really smoked weed. I was mostly just with the stimulants.
Yeah.
Was always my thing.
Find microdose.
But that was the only instance that I could find of him really telling people not to do something. Was he being sincere in the clip? I don't really know. I mean, it looks kind of sincere, but also it definitely could be sarcasm completely. Now, this idea that people don't hold collab to, like, he has this huge fan base that basically defends him pretty heavily. And he's not really held accountable for his actions at all. And, what he did, he's done a lot of wrongdoings. And yet again, he doesn't get held accountable for them. And people have to realize, like, yes, he is not telling people to do what he's doing, but if you're a young kid watching his content and you see him, treating women like he does, saying words he shouldn't, just behaviors like that, the kids have the connection that he is a cool person, and because he's cool and he does these things, they have to do those things to also be cool. It's kind of like psychology in a way. It's a connection kind of thing. Like, you make connections to certain things. Your brain makes connection to certain things. And this is one of those instances where your brain will somehow connect the dots and say, oh, well, if he does this and he's cool, I'll do this and be cool. This is something, again, that I did address in my video last week. And I definitely think it's important, though, because people don't hold influencers to a high level. And it's not just Clav, there are other people. And I'm definitely going to be talking about a couple of those people and just talking through it a little bit more. So, somebody I'm going to be talking about first is Tana Mongeau. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with her. I think she's had some scandals, but I feel like, I don't know, I think she's somebody who hasn't done horrible enough things to where it's like, how can you still support her? So basically, if you didn't know, she used to tell these crazy story times on YouTube a long time ago, and that kind of, gave her her name, her fame, that kind of thing. And these stories definitely could be influencing people with, just the craziness of them. I mean, if you have ever listened to a Tana Mongeau story, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's just like crazy things that happen all the time. So, a kid watching that video could definitely like be influenced by it, want to do these actions, things like that. Now, I'm not, like, yet again, I'm not coming after Tana at all. I don't think that these story time videos were the worst thing ever. We have way worse people that I'm going to talk about because, honestly, I really don't think she's that bad. Now, I know that she's been through other scandals, and there's been other things with her. If you want to watch videos, I'm sure there's videos on YouTube somewhere about her. But yeah, I don't know. I think the story times could influence people in the wrong direction and things like that. But around that time, that was just a huge thing. Story time content creation was really big at that time on YouTube. So yet again, not fully blaming it on her. She also was a kid too at the time, so gotta play that into a factor. I did want to talk about her specifically because I think she's more on like the mild side. Like, I feel like people didn't take her videos like serious. Like, I feel like a lot of people weren't watching her videos and thinking, oh, I'm gonna do this too. Like, I don't think that's what a lot of people like thought while watching her content. And that's another reason I didn't put Trisha Paytas in here, because I was gonna talk about her, but I feel like, she's kind of like a known like internet troll. So people didn't take her seriously. I don't think people took Tana's videos very seriously either. So how much influence she actually did on people, I feel like it's not a whole lot. But I thought I would mention her because, yet again, she is kind of on like the lower scale, which is why I wanted to mention her, just so we have like diversity. And you can see how even people who don't necessarily have like the highest level of influence, they still can cause some influence. The next person I'm talking about is Jeffree Star. Now, he has made racist comments. He's done plenty of other things too. I mean, he has some allegations against him. You can definitely, yet again, look more into him because there is a lot on him. He's been through a lot. He's been on social media for a really long time. I'm sure you guys probably know about Jeffree Star lore and things like that because he's definitely a popular name. Now, the thing with this is him saying these slurs and things like that, people would definitely be influenced by these actions because, yet again, when he first started becoming popular, a lot of guys were not like openly expressing their love for makeup. A lot of guys were not, being true to themselves and being okay with wearing makeup and not caring what people said. And he was one of, like, I would say, like, the OGs when it comes to the makeup community on YouTube. So for him to, have all these probably young followers who support him because they look up to him and they see him as a role model, when he does these actions, people might also look up to him and see if he's doing it and he's getting away with it. They also might think they can do it too, which is another part of this whole like influencers have to take accountability for what they're doing. Because yet again, Jeffree Star definitely has a younger audience. Granted, some of his jokes that he's made in his videos, because I have watched Jeffree Star videos before, they are very inappropriate. Like, they are not like kid friendly because I don't think his audience isn't supposed to be for kids. Granted, I think a lot of it probably is kids, but I don't know. I just think that he has such a big influence in the YouTube space on like social media in general. Like he has a huge influence. Now, maybe not as much as it used to be because he doesn't really post anymore. He's kind of like not talked about anymore, but definitely back in like 2017, 2016, those years, he definitely had a huge influence on a lot of people. Now, the last person I'm going to be talking about is Jake Paul. Yet again, he is somebody who has had so many scandals, so much about him. Like things I want to mention. So he threw parties during lockdown, and you weren't supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to be staying at home, quarantining around that time, and he was throwing parties. He was posting about it, and he's also said slurs in the past. He also has like tons of other things on him. I'm sure there are plenty of videos on YouTube about Jake Paul if you want to go look into him more and want to know more about that. Definitely go check them out because I know there are definitely videos. But he's another one. His audience is younger, and I feel like his videos target younger audiences. Like I know when I was younger, like probably like 8 or 9, like I would watch Jake Paul. Like I now would not watch Jake Paul, but I feel like back then I would, and I feel like his content definitely targeted younger audiences in general. Like the content he'd post, like I don't know, just like the style too. Like it was definitely more of like a teen to younger audience.
Being what?
Your vlog.
I'm not.
Ricky vlogs?
No, I don't. Ricky's not a vlogger. Ricky the Blazer.
How do you like Jake Paul?
No, I'm Ricky. We got a dip, bro. We got a dip. This is. I have a question. What do you guys think about Jake Paul?
I love him. I like him. He's a person.
Okay. Dope.
So him having and doing bad actions definitely could influence these kids, because you gotta think about it like this. Jake Paul was like the it guy on YouTube. He was like one of the more popular talked about people. He was somebody who everybody wanted to be. So for people to like see him and see him doing the things he's doing, it's like like it's talked about earlier, the connections. They see him doing it, they're gonna think, well, I'm gonna do it to be cool too. Because he does it and he's cool, so I'm gonna do it and be cool. Yet again, like I said, he is super popular. He still is talked about to this day. I will be honest. He's still, his name is still floating around, recently with the Mike Tyson thing, like about a year or so ago, I think that was. I don't really know. I think it was like a year or so ago. But yeah, I don't know. He's still definitely talked about. But, he definitely has a past, and he definitely targets a younger audience, especially when you compare it to like, say, like Tana, Jeffrey. I feel like with them, you can argue that they were trying to go more for like 18 to 20-ish, that kind of age range, somewhere around there. But I feel like Jake Paul definitely targeted a younger audience. And I feel like his content and his morals and things like that probably should not have been reaching and going to a younger audience. So my final thoughts on all of this and influencers being actually influential people, I think that I don't know, I feel like people have kind of forgotten the idea that an influencer influences people. There are plenty other examples that I did not mention of people who have done, things and said things and all those kind of things. And I get it. People do make mistakes, especially people who are on social media and have been on it for a really long time. They're going to have a bump in the road every once in a while. But I think it is important for those people to come out and say that they're sorry, to apologize, to say what they did was wrong, because yet again, there are a lot of kids on social media, and kids are very impressionable, and even if they see this influencer or person they like doing a bad action, if they see that they're also apologizing for it, it's more likely that the kid is not going to do that action. Now, a lot of people will argue, this whole time in this video, saying, well, it's not the influencer's job to, influence people. It's not the influencer's job to, like, I don't want to say teach kids, but, like, it's not their job to do something like that. And I do see the point in that argument, but at the same time, you're a public figure. You're putting yourself out there, and you know that you're probably going to be influencing somebody. You might be reaching maybe more people than others, but there's definitely some level of influence. I know with me personally, I would never go on social media and be posting, like, content that is like hatred, showing like bad morals, things like that. Like I feel like those things, like I would not want to put out there, because I don't know, like maybe I'm influencing 1 or 2 people. Yet again, I have a very small audience, so it's probably not a lot of people, but it could be a couple. And last thing I'd want to do is be the reason that somebody is doing something like wrong and having these actions because they think it's cool. And I don't know, from a personal standpoint, I feel like I hold some little of influence because I am putting myself on social media. So I feel that, I mean, these other influencers who have millions of followers must know that they're influencing people, must know that there are definitely kids out there who are probably changing their actions, the way they act, things like that, to like be more like you. And I think it's just, yet again, we have to hold influencers more accountable because they should know this. This isn't something that's like rocket science. I feel like they know it. They just don't really care. And it's, yet again, just lack of careness, I guess you could say. And yet again, when it comes to Clav, he's younger, he's newer on social media. He just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He'll do whatever he wants, and that's okay. And I think that that's what the problem is that people are okay with him doing what he wants. And that's a problem. That is an issue. Like, reading my comments under my last video, a lot of them were, defending him. There was a couple that were like coming after me, whatever. Like, definitely very much so, like, pro Clav. And it's like, okay, it's, I guess, whatever, like who you want. But at the same time, look at the person, look at what they're projecting, look at what they're telling you about themselves, and think, do you actually want to support this person? Because, yet again, these are people who are relying on their followers to have success. They are called influencers because they are influencing other people to either buy a product, to, I don't know, how you live your day-to-day life, different things like that. So I definitely think it is very important to watch who you are following, watch these people, and if somebody you like does something wrong, don't feel bad to try to hold them accountable. Because, they're probably, honestly, they might not be a bad person. They just might have made a mistake. And it's definitely important for them to address that, mistake that they made. And I get it. People are going to make mistakes. I'm not sitting here saying that people are never going to mess up. That's not the point that I'm trying to get across. I just think that influencers need to be held accountable. And, people need to let influencers also have the apologies be accepted, because if influencers are trying to apologize for the actions and realizing what they did was wrong, I think people need to also learn to accept their apologies and try to understand the idea that maybe they did just make a mistake. But definitely let me know your thoughts down below, because I'm very curious. This is something that I personally thought most people just like knew, like, oh, influencers influence people, but I think people have a tendency to forget that idea when it comes to somebody that they love so much that they're willing to defend them regardless of what they do, say, or anything like that. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye!